Okay, buddy. Okay, so we'll start our classes now. So in our today class, we will study about the types of economic activities. Okay, means what? All those types of sectors, various sectors we have in economy. So we'll study about the types of economic activities or sectors of an economy. So like when you all were studying in 9th standard or 10th standard, you all would have studied economics. So there in that particular class, you all would have studied that we have three types of sectors. You all would have heard the name of primary sectors, tertiary sectors, secondary sectors, then tertiary sectors. Okay, but here we will study about the five sectors: primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, quaternary sector, and the quinary sector. Okay, so this quaternary and the quinary sector, these two are part of this particular tertiary sector. Okay, so all these things we will study in today classes, and also we will study that which particular sector is known as collar jobs, which particular sector jobs is known as in that white collar jobs, which one is known as red collar jobs. So all those things we will study in our today classes. And from this particular part, see, sectors options will be there, and questions are being asked by, like, they'll give some examples. Okay, like they'll give agricultural activities. Okay, and they'll ask this is which sector. Okay, or they'll give some services, like they'll give the Microsoft engineering. So Microsoft engineering. So like they'll give and they'll ask that which that particular services belong to which sector. So for that we must know to differentiate between all these five sectors. Okay. So we'll see here about the different types of sector. So if you see types of sectors, it has been divided on the various basis. So in which we have on the basis of employment policies. So on the basis of employment policies, we have organized sector and unorganized sector. On the basis of ownership, we have three types of sector: public sector, private sector, and the joint sector. Then on the basis of activity, we have five types of sector. We have primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, and the quinary. Okay, so now in our today classes, first we will see about the on the basis of employment policies. We will see about the sectors on the basis of employment activities. Sorry, employment policies. So now here, if you see, like in our day-to-day life, if you see, we have the people they are doing the jobs. Okay, so all those people they are doing jobs, like if we travel around the world, so there you will be seeing that some people are rickshaw puller, some are laborer, some are having their own uh, hotels, all those things. Okay, and some are doing the government jobs. Some are busy in doing the government jobs, like they are somewhere like in the bank itself. Okay, so in banks there are some employees, so they are doing some government jobs. Okay, so in that what is happening, like all those who are on government duties, so they are getting some benefits. Okay, they are getting fixed salary, they are getting some benefits. Okay, then they are getting fixed salary benefits, and also that particular that time hour that is limited. Whereas these particular types of jobs will be coming under which sector? They will be coming under organized sector. Whereas if you see, like all those rickshaw pullers, laborers, they don't have any time limit. Their salary is not fixed. So these types of jobs will be coming under unorganized sector. So these types of jobs will be coming under unorganized sector. So now here on the basis of employment policies, we have two types of sector: organized sector and unorganized sector. So here unorganized sector first we'll see. So in organized sector, we'll be having the job security. Okay, job security or the job stability will be there. We will be having fixed salary in organized sector. Then here that particular labor's laws are applicable. Okay, means what? If you even if you could have gone to bank area, which is government bank, so there you would have seen that people, like by 3 o'clock itself they'll close the gate. Okay, so because by 4 o'clock they want to calculate everything and they want to leave the bank. So means what, that particular 8 hour duty time or 6 hour duty time, So that time limit is there. Okay. So here there will be no cases of overtime, or even if overtime is there, then they will be paid extra. Okay. So here that labor laws are applicable. Then they will be having some social security benefit like provident fund, the fund which we are getting like pension. If you retire after it, you will be applicable for getting pensions, all those things. Okay. So in that, what all those things comes? Examples, we have government job, MNC companies, jobs, large scale company, and there is the legal protection of workers. Okay. So there will be legal protection of workers. So these are characteristics of organized sector. Now we will see about the unorganized sector. So in the unorganized sector, it is just vice versa of organized sector. There will be no job security. Anytime you might lose job. Like in private companies, if you go, like someone is doing private job, so there you will be seeing that there is no job security. Anytime, like now we have the recession. So now you all would have heard that many companies they have fired their employee. Okay, so there will be no job security. So this is what, this is unorganized sector. So there will be no job security or stability. There will be no fixed salary, and there will be no labor laws applicable. Okay, like they will, if something need to be completed, they will ask you to do overtime, but you will be not paid extra. So here in unorganized sector, no labor laws will be applicable. Like in this unorganized sector, you can take in the case of like rickshaw puller itself. Okay, rickshaw puller job. Okay, or you can take it as a driver, all those Ola, Uber drivers. Okay, you can take in case of that one. So here the what? They don't have any job security. There is no fixed salary. Okay, then there is no labor laws applicable on them. Okay, so and also they're not getting any social security benefit. Like if they leave their job, if they retire, so there will be no pension activities or this provident fund gratuity. All those things will be not available to them. Okay, and also there will be no legal protection of workers. Okay, so in examples we can have shop, street vendors, rickshaw pullers, factory workers. So here all these things come under the unorganized sector. So now in case of our country, if you take, so here what, in India we have only 10 to 15 percentage they are engaged in organized sector, whereas 80 to 85 percentage population are engaged in unorganized sector. Like if you see even now also, even though we are decreasing in agriculture population, but even now also in India maximum people are employed in agricultural activities. So all those agricultural activities, what? It is the unorganized sector. It is the unorganized sector. So these are the examples of unorganized sector. Okay. So now here we'll see second type of economic second types of sectors. So now that is on the basis of ownership. That is on the basis of ownership. Okay. So on the basis of ownership, if we see, we saw that we have divided sectors into three parts. One is public. Okay. Other one is private. Other one is what? Joint. Okay. Joint sector. So in the joint means what? Here there will be the role of both public and private. Okay. There will be role of both public and private. Okay. So now here if you see, so first we'll see the public sector. A sector with more than 50% government shareholding. Okay. So that particular thing will be known as what? Public sector. Now see here. Now suppose if someone want to see, if something we like, even if you take the highway construction. Okay. Highway construction. Okay. This one will understand in the joint sector. So in the public sector, like in some companies, you can take as the some ONGC. Okay. Oil natural gas station. So in this particular company, if you take, so here what is happening? Like here there is role of private sector also, private properties also. But here there is maximum role of public property. So here like if some companies, if some in that particular in this ONGC company, if government shares holding is more than 50%, if it is more than 50%, like we know that we need to invest. Okay. in some companies to earn it. So out of 100%, if government shareholding is more than 50%, then that particular companies will be coming under the public sector. Okay, so that particular companies will be coming under the public sector. Okay, and if out of 100%, if government shareholding is less than 50%, then that particular companies will be coming under the private sector. Okay, so if the government shareholding, if it is just 51% also, then that particular company will be coming under the government sector. So here a sector with more than 50% government shareholding is what? Public sector. So what are those examples? We have SBI, we have LIC, BSNL. Okay, then we have the private sector. So private sector is what? It is a sector with less than 50% government shareholding. Okay, so those things will be known as what? Private sector. And in that example, you can see we have the Jio, HDFC Bank, Air India, Tata. So all these are what? Private sector. Now we have another sector, that is what? Public-private partnership sector, or also we call it as what? Joint sector. Okay, so joint we saw that in which we'll be having both combination. There will be a role of both private and the public. So that particular sector is known as what? Public-private partnership sector or the joint sector. Okay, so here the third type of sector on the basis of ownership is what? Joint sector or public-private sector. So here in this, there will be a role of both private and public. Okay, so here in this case, like how we will take, like see here, there will be 50-50 shareholding. Okay, like here example you can take, suppose if highway need to be constructed. Okay, highway need to be constructed. So in that case, like what will happen if government is not having money? Okay, so if they want to involve some private companies, so what they will ask, what they will ask, they'll ask them to invest. Okay, invest in this particular thing, and this they'll give you for like 20 years. Okay, and in that 20 years, like they'll give on lease for 20 years. So in that 20 years, you can control all those taxes. Okay, see here on the better part, like I'll tell you all. Suppose we have the joint public sector. Okay, so suppose if highway need to be constructed. Okay, and highway, this particular construction cost, if we say it is approx 50,000 crore. Okay, or let it be 5,000 crore if its construction is approx 5,000 crore. So now in this case, now government is not having money. So if they want to involve some private owners, okay, so what they will say that they'll give it to some private companies. Okay, like here in the part we'll be seeing that many private companies are there. Okay, like we have the Laurean and Turbo. Okay, L&T. Okay, so various companies are there. So suppose if they want to give it to this Laurean and Turbo. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? That you need to invest 5,000 crore. Okay, so in that case, they'll give it to them and they will ask, you can construct road. Okay, you can construct road. Okay, and for next 20 years, if you like, we need to collect toll also. So what will happen? Suppose now this particular highway construction approximately all the money needed is 5,000 crore. Okay, and after the toll collection, after 20 years, here they will be gaining like nearby 10,000 crore. Okay, the profit you will be getting 10,000 crore. So some company will ask for this particular thing. Okay, so give me this all those construction part. I'll invest particular money. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? Now they are seeing this profit. So now in that case, government will say that, okay, I'll give you this particular part. Okay, in that, like till 20 years, you can collect tax. Okay, so till 20 years, all those toll tax collected will be yours. Okay, all those toll taxes collected will be yours. Okay, so in that case, what will happen after 20 years? This highway, after till 20 years, this highway property will be of that particular company. Okay, and after 20 years, once the 20 years time gets over, so after that, this particular property, highway, will become the property of government. Okay, so that is what? So that is called known as what? Joint sector or public-private partnership sector. So in this case, what will happen? We'll be having the 50-50 shareholding. Okay, or also we'll be having the BOT model. So BOT model is what? Build, operate, and transfer. So this is what? BOT model. Okay, so and this particular public-private sector is also known as joint sector. And here, this is for what? This is for the faster project implementation. Okay, so this is for the faster project implementation. So this is regarding this particular type of sector on the basis of ownership. So now here we'll see types of sectors on the basis of activities. So on the basis of activities, we have 5 types of sector. So we saw already, we have primary sector, we have secondary sector. Also we saw that we have tertiary sector, quaternary sector, and quinary sector. So all those sectors we talk in detail. Okay. So here now if you see, okay, so here on the basis of activities, we have 5 types of sectors. Okay. So on the basis of activity, 5 types of sectors. So first we'll see about the primary sector. Okay. So in the primary sector is what? It is related to the natural. Like here the raw materials, all those things will be seen. So it is related to the nature. Okay. So primary sector is related to the nature. Okay. So in that primary sector, if you see the example, so there will be the agriculture activities or the some agriculture related activities. Okay. Like we have the mining, we have the quarrying. So all those things are what? Primary sectors. So in the primary sectors, what will be happening? There will be getting raw materials. Okay. There we will be getting raw materials from nature. Okay. So there will be involvement of nature. So those sectors which has the involvement, direct involvement. Okay. Direct involvement of nature. So that particular sector is known as what? Primary sector. So this particular primary sector is also known as what? Red collar job. Okay. So remember that questions can be asked that which particular sector is known as what? Red collar job. Okay. Or instead of giving this particular primary sector name, they might ask that agricultural activities comes under the which collar job. So that is the red collar jobs. So remember this. Then we have the secondary sector. So secondary sector, it is related to the manufacturing or the construction. Okay. So here what will happen? Like, see, first we have the raw materials. Okay. Now from these particular raw materials, now suppose from the agriculture we are getting wheat. From agriculture we are getting wheat. Okay. And from wheat we are making flour. Okay. From wheat we are making flour. Okay. So this particular part, wheat will be coming under the primary sector. Okay. And the floor, the service, all those person who are providing services for this particular, making this wheat into flour. Okay. So they're using raw material for making something, for manufacturing something. So this particular thing will be known as what? Secondary sector. So this particular floor will be known as what? Secondary sector. So it is what? It is related to the manufacturing and the construction. So in this particular secondary sector, we have the industrial sector, and this particular secondary sector is known as what? Blue collar job. So remember that it is known as what? Blue collar job. We have the tertiary sector. So here the tertiary sector, it is what? It is related to the service. Like here, like from the wheat. From wheat, what happened? This particular flour is made. Okay. So now this particular flour, after flour is made, so from this particular flour, here we'll be having all those chapati things. So when the chapatis are made, so in hotels you'll be getting all those chapatis. So they are providing what? In hotels they are providing services. So they are providing service. So those things will be coming under the tertiary sector. So it is what? It is related to the service. So it is also known as what? Service sector. And tertiary sector is known as what? White collar job. Okay. So what we saw? We have red collar job, which is primary sector. We have blue collar job, which is secondary sector. We have white collar job, which is the tertiary sector. Then fourth one, we have the quaternary sector. So tertiary sector, okay, earlier we were studying till tertiary sector only. Now this particular tertiary sector has been divided into various parts. One is quaternary, and other is what? Quinary sector. Okay. So here in the quaternary sector, what is happening? It is related to the high knowledge and the innovation. Okay. It is related to the high knowledge and innovation. Means what? Like we know that high knowledge means what? You all would have heard about the research scholars. Okay. So research scholars, when they are pursuing PhD, so means what? They are going for the higher knowledge. Okay. So research scholar types job will be known as what? Quaternary sector. Okay. Then we have the quinary sector. So quinary sector is what? It is related to the decision making. Okay. So quinary sector is what? It is related to the decision making, and this particular sector is known as what? Gold collar job. Okay. We will see various examples of it. Then you all will be able to understand easily. Okay. So quinary sector is what? It is related to the decision making, and it is known as what? Gold collar job. Okay. So now here you all see, like here we have the primary sector. Okay. So we have the various examples of primary sector. So primary sector, what we talked, that it will be related to direct related to nature. Okay. So here what will happen? There will be production of raw materials. Okay. So like we get coal. So if you want to have coal, so for that what we need to do the mining process. Okay. So here this particular mining. So mining, it is directly related to the nature. Okay. So this particular mining comes under the primary sector. So here in the primary sector we have the various example: agriculture, horticulture, apiculture, sericulture, fisheries, animal husbandry, poultry farming, dairy farming, forestry, mining, quarrying, weaving, and the crude oil production. So all these things comes under the primary sector. So other various examples also we can have, but all these examples we need to remember, because from these examples questions are being asked that this particular part comes under which sector. So these are the parts of primary sector. Then we have the examples of secondary sector. So if you see in the secondary sector, we have the various things: manufacturing, okay, construction, electricity or the energy production, food processing, automotive, oil refining. So don't get confused with the oil refining and the crude oil. Okay. So crude oil is what? Now this particular oil we are getting directly from the nature at the first stage. Now when we are refining oil, so that comes under the secondary sector. Water supply, textile industries, sugar mill. So these things, now what they are doing, all these secondary sectors, what they are doing, they're using these particular resources from the primary sectors to produce something. So they come under the secondary sector. Okay. Means what? These particular, all these manufacturing, all these sectors, they are not directly related to the nature. They are what? They're getting all their raw materials from this particular primary sector. So they are known as what? Secondary sector. Okay. Now we have the tertiary sector examples. Okay, so in the tertiary sector, we have the education, health, hotel and restaurant, transport, tourism, telecom, film and TV, courier service, police, sports, business, shopkeeper, judge or the lawyer, civil servant, administration, or the real estate. So all those things come under the tertiary sector. Means what? They will be providing some service. Okay. So they are what? They are the tertiary sector. Okay. Now we have the quaternary sector. So quaternary sector, we studied that high knowledge and the innovation. Okay. It will be related to what? High knowledge and innovation. Okay. So here research and development, information technology, some scientific work, university teaching. So in the university teaching is what? Like professor, assistant professor. Okay. So this is what? Quaternary sector. Software developer. So all these are examples of quaternary sector. Now regarding the quinary sectors, we have board of director. Okay. So what? Quinary sector, what we studied that they will be related to the decision making. They will be related to the decision making. Okay. So in the decision making, we have the board of director, university head or dean. Okay. Country PM, president, ministers. So they'll be coming under the quinary sector. Policy makers, okay, managing director or CEO. So all these are examples of quinary sector. Okay, so we have finished this particular different types of sector. Okay, so now we'll see some important points. Like if you see in our India part, okay, during the independence, like when we got independence in 1947. Okay, so at that time, what was happening? Highest employment we were engaged in primary sector. Okay, so highest employment that time it was provided by the primary sector. Okay, then that time also, if you see, highest contribution in GDP or national income were from the primary sector, doing like 1950 times 1950 or 1951. Then also we had the Green Revolution 1960s. Okay, so that time what? That time highest contribution in GDP was the part from the agricultural activities. Okay, so it was from the primary sector, not only agriculture, it was from the primary sector. Okay, then at present 2023 or 24, if we see, we have the highest contribution in employment. So here also, now here highest contribution in employment, we have the primary sector. Okay, here also we had the highest employment contribution from the primary sector, but here also highest contribution in GDP, it was from the primary sector during the independence time. Okay, but here if we see at present 2023-24, highest contribution in GDP or national income we are getting from the tertiary sector. So GDP means what? Gross domestic product. Okay, it is what? Gross domestic product. Okay, so from that or national income, that from this particular part of the national income is being calculated. Okay, so here that thing at present we are getting from the tertiary sector. Okay, so for nowadays, if we see contribution wise, the particular sector is being like the arrangement of that particular sector. If you see, so in the contribution wise, tertiary sector contributes more. Okay, then after tertiary sector, secondary sector, and then last will be the primary sector. Okay, so we must know the arrangement. Okay, in the descending order. Okay, so tertiary, secondary, and then primary sector. So this is now if you see regarding developing and the underdeveloped nation. Okay, so in the developing and the underdeveloped nation, if you see, highest role in economy will be from the primary sector, and in developed nation, if you see, highest role in the economy will be from the tertiary sector. So here what will happen? So if in the development process or the economic growth, if you see, if your tertiary or the service sector is increasing, so there will be seeing that there is development. Okay, there is some economic growth. Okay, so here if you see the India's trend, so in the India's trend, what is happening? Tertiary sector 1950, 1951, that time it was of only 31%. Okay, but now in 2023 or 24, if you see, it is of 55%. So tertiary sector contribution is of 55%. Okay, so remember this particular some stats. Okay, so this is all about all those sectors, types of activities. Okay, so now here we will see some few questions. Okay, so here, to which of the following sectors of the economy the activity of agriculture and services belong to? Okay, so agriculture and services. So agriculture belongs to what? Primary sector, that all we saw. Okay, and services belong to what? Tertiary sector. Okay, so this is correct. Then next we have, which of the following is a part of primary sector? So in the primary sector, we saw that what we have the some activities related to nature. Okay, so from nature we get some raw material. So construction. So construction which we saw that it is a part of secondary sector. Food processing, part of secondary sector. Administration, we saw it is a part of tertiary sector. So here horticulture. Okay, so horticulture means what? That particular things like fruits. Okay, like fruits, we are growing fruits, vegetables. Okay, so this particular activities, okay, someone is involved in this particular activity, they are known as what? Horticulturist. Okay, so here horticulture comes under the primary sector. Okay, then we have the components of service sector in gross value added are. Okay, so in the service sector, in the gross value added, now see gross value added, if we see, so this is what some unknown term to you. Okay, so but now what you will do in the exams, don't go on this particular term. Okay, if you see, okay, if you don't term, but study those options also carefully. Okay, so now here they've asked about the service sector. Now here we have a study about the services sector. So by seeing the example, by seeing the options, you can mark the correct answers. So here if you see construction, it is related to the what? Secondary sector, in which we have the manufacturing or activities. Okay, then here the second option we have the trade, hotels, transport, communication related to broadcasting. So all those things we saw that these particular things come under the tertiary sector. Okay, then electricity, gas, water supply, and other utility services, all those things comes under the secondary sector. All those things we have seen, and here they are asking about the services sector. So here one option B is selected. Okay, then here we have the public administration, defense, and other services. So those things comes under the tertiary sector. So here D option is also correct. Then we have the financial, real estate, professional services. So these things comes under the tertiary sector. So here B, D, and E is correct. Okay. So here lies. See, now here 5 options are given. Now here in this particular 5 options, how the UPSC will give option. Okay. Like they'll give B and D is correct. Okay. B and D is correct. Second option will be B, D, E is correct. Is correct. Okay. Then next option will be all are correct. All are correct. Okay. And then next option will be what? Like 4 options. So next option will be what? More than 3 are correct. More than 3 are correct. So live questions will be asked. So we must be prepared for these types of questions also. Okay. So here B, D, and E is correct. Okay. So here the next question is, so here B, D, and E is correct. So here the next question is what? When a product is produced by exploitation of natural resources. So here the nature process have come. So this belongs to what? Primary sector. Exploitation of natural resources. So that all those things comes under the primary sector. Okay. Then next we have what is the reason behind most people working in agriculture sector? So reason behind most people are working in agriculture sector is what? We must study those options carefully. People get high returns in agriculture. It is not correct. Okay, because we do not get that much returns in agriculture if you see nowadays. Okay, there will be some impact of all those seasonal activities like monsoon season, rainy season, all those things. There will be some impact. Okay, then due to political pressure. So this also political pressure. It is not related to the agriculture sector. Okay, then most people are interested in working in agriculture. It is not that most people are, many people, if you see many farmers, they want to do some other thing. Okay. So here if you see other sectors do not absorb people from the agriculture. Okay. So agriculture people means what? They'll be not skilled in very sector. Like suppose if someone is farmer. So this particular farmer, he might not be skilled in the services, like in the software developer, all those things. So here what happens? Other sectors do not absorb people from the agriculture. So yes, C is correct. Okay. Then we have next, what is the significance of the tertiary sector in a developing country like India? So what? It provides services that support the economic development. So yeah, this is correct. Then next question is what? So next question, what challenges are often associated with the unorganized sector? Okay. So we saw that there will be no fixed salary. So low wages will be there. Lack of social security will be there. Poor work conditions might be there. Okay. So this is what these things are challenges associated with the unorganized sector. Okay. Then next we have, which of the following does not come under the unorganized sector? Okay. So in the unorganized sector, so a teacher teaching in a school. Okay. So teacher teaching in a school, so here they'll be getting some salary. So here, this is what? This is related to the organized sector. Okay. A daily wage laborer working for a contractor. So this is what? Laborer, what? They are part of the unorganized sector. Okay. A handloom weaver working in a home. Okay. So weaver, they also comes under the unorganized sector. So here only the C option is correct. Okay. Then what is the key characteristics of private sector's involvement in PPP? Okay. So what we saw, public private partnership. Okay. We saw this one, public private partnership. We saw this one. Okay. So here if you see, so here key characteristics of it is what? Partial ownership and shared responsibility. Then next question we have, which of the following is an example of PPP project? Okay, so in the PPP, like a government funded road construction project. Okay, so here what we saw that particular funding will be happening from the private, okay, from the private companies. So here the government funded road is there. So here government funded, this is incorrect. Okay, then a public park managed by the solely by the government. So there what we saw while studying about the PPP, we saw that there is the role of, at first starting there will be a role of private. Okay, so here that managing at for particular few years, that particular management will be done by private owners. Okay, so this is also incorrect. A government run healthcare facilities. So this is also related to the only government. So there will be no involvement of private. Okay, but here if you see a privately owned and operated toll road. Okay, so here there will be the role of both public and private. Okay, so this is what, this is example of PPP project. Okay, then next we have, what is the primary goal of a public private partnership? Okay, so it is what, it is to create a mutually beneficial collaboration between the public and the private sector. Okay, so this is all about the types of sector and all those questions also we have seen. Okay, so let me know if anyone having doubt from this particular part.